every weekend I end up saying, oh, God, I'm never going to drink again. Every goddamn Saturday, it's like, fucking.
Yeah, we had a lot.
There was just, it's those margaritas, man. Like, I could barely even finish that thing. It was so sweet. It was just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I had like 3 of them.
You had 3 of those?
I think so, 3 or 4.
Are
I lost count.
Touched in the head? Why would you have 3?
It's been said.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Rage Select. I'm
Classiest
Jeff.
fucking podcast on the internet.
There you go.
I'm Jason.
And we have a special guest all the way from across the pond. Say hello to the ass crusher himself, Mr. Nick Hodges.
Hello, everybody.
How are you finding this, like, completely and totally insane Texas heat?
I don't think I can handle it much more. Like, I'm trying to, like, take in the opportunity to sunbathe and stuff like that, but it's not a good idea at all. Like, I'm scorched and looking like a lobster already.
Yeah. It's shitty.
But I'm loving the drink prices over here back home.
Well, you have to stay hydrated, you know? You need beer every 2 hours or you're just going to pass out and fall down.
It's like, they've got a happy hour. Where? On the surface of the sun? Let's go. Let's do it.
I was actually telling Nick, I was reminiscing about the old days. You remember when you could go to a bar and you could smoke inside where it was air conditioned?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was pretty good.
And now it's like, no, you can sit out here on this picnic table for 6 hours.
There's still a couple of those around town.
Well, there's
one of them that you won't go to because it makes you sad.
Oh, Lala's?
Yeah.
I'm not going to that. It's Christmas all the time because the dude's kid died on Christmas.
Oh, that's an urban legend. I don't think that's true.
No, well, then why is it Christmas all the time?
I don't. They like fucking Christmas, man. I don't know.
Well, I've talked at length about Lala's. It's full of the most depressing human beings on this entire planet.
I love it. It's
like
the best jukebox.
It's just Loretta. Like multiplied by 100. It's just all Lorettas sitting around drinking themselves to death. Like why would I want to watch old people dying of cirrhosis? That's not my idea of a Friday night.
It's like,
hey, Jeffrey, you want to go back behind the bar and give Mama an Australian kiss?
No.
You want to smooch on my lady parts, Jeffrey?
You know, I'm sure that's the only reason they have mistletoe in that place, specifically for the reason to give old people a reason to try to make out with young people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Jesus, Grandma,
it's at least carnival of wrinkles and sadness.
Put your fucking dentures in if you want to make out at the very least. Nick,
is that what makes it attractive to people? Just that it's Christmas themed all the time?
No, it's a dive bar.
It's a dive bar.
It's a great dive bar. It's one of the only places up in North Austin, one of the only, to drink. There's not a lot of, most of the places are downtown or down south.
Right.
This is a dive bar, but it's got an awesome jukebox full of Elvis and Sinatra and Dean Martin and Ella Fitzgerald and cheap drinks. But it is Christmas all the time, which is, it's strange.
It's like there's, in Austin, there's a difference between, you've got like the classy dive bar, like the dive bars, like Rainy Street kind of stuff, where you've got places that are a little bit run down.
Quote unquote dive bar.
Yeah. That it's more of a hipster classification than it is an actual dive bar. And then you have places that have been here for like 50 years that are actually just shitholes.
Yeah.
And
they're just in there like drinking whiskey and waiting to die.
Yeah. The prices are cheap because that's the only way you could get anybody to come in this goddamn place.
And it's like right next to a laundromat.
Yeah.
And they're like crazy people hanging out in front of the laundromat.
Yeah.
You know, which
like
is where they go.
The dude from the attorney from Breaking Bad should have his office right. Saul's.
Better call Saul.
Should be right next door to fucking Lala.
Yeah, they got these surly old mummies serving you drinks.
Yep.
It's great.
People that just, I don't know.
But desiccated.
I don't know. If you had a choice, Joe, Jason, would you rather go to Lala's or we've talked about this before, or Poodle Dog? Because Poodle Dog is like,
you'll fucking get stabbed.
You'll get stabbed at, but...
Or is it like really dodgy? Like
it's like a biker bar up north. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's run down. It's a dive bar. They've got a quote-unquote patio out back for smokers, which is like a card table in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been in there once or twice.
Like, I went in there one time with my friend, and I went in there and I said, oh, shit, I've never felt more like I'm going to get stabbed in a bar in Austin, Texas than I have at the Poodle Dog Lounge.
Dude, well, you went to the back room, though, back in the day, right?
The back room was just a shithole. It wasn't, like, dangerous.
But it was on East Riverside, back when East Riverside was fucking, like, East L.A.
I used to live on East Riverside when I was that age, when I was, like, 20 or 21 or whatever.
So did I.
I mean, you know,
dump.
when you're stupid and you're young and you're like, fuck it, I can get stabbed and still live, whatever.
For a few months, I lived in an apartment complex right across the street from the back room.
Yeah.
And every day there was a different warning, rapist on the loose.
Dude,
and it was a different dude every day.
Don't even talk to me about the
just
shitty
like fucking rape party.
at the shitty places that you've lived, because I used to live on East Cameron, all right?
Oh, shit.
Like-
we have a winner.
Like, I mean, I am not trying to be racist at all, but I moved into this apartment complex. I swear to God, I think I was the only white person there.
I love that. I'm not going to be trying to be racist.
I'm not.
But
Well, yeah.
insert racist comment.
Damn it. Yeah, that place, I was looking for a really cheap apartment, and I found it.
Yeah.
I actually had one of my best friends at the time was a lady, and she would not come to my apartment. She would come to my apartment and then call me from her cell phone for me to walk down the parking lot and escort her up to my apartment because she didn't want to be walking around that place in the middle of the night. I remember one time I was walking to the store. I was just walking over to the local convenience store to get some cigarettes, and it was like, boom, alien abduction. I was like, this light just in the middle of the night.
Get probed.
There was light all around me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I look up, and there's like 2 police helicopters shining their lights around, and this one just stood on me.
White boy, what are you doing here?
I was like, "What do I do? What do you do at that point?"
Wave? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
like, do I stop? Do I keep walking? Do I like look up at them and be like, "Hi"?
Well, what did you do? You just like froze there.
I stopped and I looked and I was like, "Okay, that's a helicopter." And I stood there for a minute in case we got like he was saying, you know, "White boy, what are you doing in this neighborhood? Leave now," you know, and finally I was just like, all right, I'm going to go. And so I kept walking, and they kept the light on me for a little while, and then they went somewhere else.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
I was living in, it was in Wells Branch, but it was like that shitty block of Wells Branch.
I know that shitty block.
Yeah.
I used to live in Wells
Margolene.
Branch. Yeah.
It's like Wells Branch is all really nice, and then there's like the shitty block.
Yeah.
And I lived there in a duplex. Brushwood owned the duplex, lived on the other side. And I had this dog that was driving me crazy, Delilah. Mm-hmm. She was outside. She was running around. I wanted to go to bed. I was trying to get her to come in. I was just wearing my boxers. And so I'm getting pissed off. Get in, fucking get in the house. She won't come in. I run out there. And so I'm just chasing her around the backyard. Mm-hmm. Spotlight on me. And so I just stop, and I'm there in my fucking underwear, looking up, and then there's a police chopper over me. I'm just like, hey. And then my dog goes inside. I'm like,
you would, wouldn't you, Delilah?
yeah, she did that on purpose.
Do you think they just do this on purpose to fuck around with people sometimes? When they got nothing going on?
If the police just get drunk on Friday night and shine this, who should we shine this? Let's go to the strip club and shine it on people in the parking lot.
If I had a chopper with a spotlight, oh God,
yeah,
the mayhem. I would go to all those places where gay guys go to get anonymous sex in the park.
All right,
and I would just fly around
stops and dumpsters and places like that.
Yeah, well, like Waller Creek.
Yeah,
you know, and just like out there, and they're like out in the woods. It's like they use the big bullhorn and stuff. And
right,
it's like. Give him the reach around. Give him the reach. Don't be rude.
Just give him tips from the sky.
Exactly.
Come on, don't be
good job,
selfish,
boys.
mate.
Good job.
Yeah. He has the AIDS.
Well, Nick,
don't fuck him.
Have you ever? God damn it, Jason. Have you ever lived anywhere dodgy or
no?
You know, why
One
not?
look at me, you could tell that posh boy from London. Yeah.
Oh, I live on a cloud in North London.
I mean, like,
us crumpets and give us massages all day, and I ride my unicorn to work. I don't have a job though.
Artists, you know what to do. But what is the bad part of London?
I would have to say, like, mainly South London and some parts of East London as well.
What is it about the South and the East that's bad everywhere, Jason? You've never noticed that? Like, the South side or the East side is always nobody ever says, like, dude, don't go to the North side. There's some shit going down on the North side. Like, it's always South or East.
And I know Chris Rock has said this, but it is true.
Yeah.
If you've got a street named Martin Luther King Boulevard, stay the fuck off of it.
You know, MLK here is not that bad.
Yes, it is.
It's not that bad.
East MLK? Like East MLK and Chacon?
Okay, well, East MLK, yeah, but there's also the whole other side that goes over to the drag.
Dude, I told you when I was over there and I was going to Griffin Ramsey's art opening. And her studio is right there by the projects.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find a parking spot, so I parked on like the opposite side of the project, so I have to walk like adjacent to the projects. I'm going along, and some dude just walked and he started screaming at me. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I just kept walking. And he's still yelling. And I'm like down the block, yeah, fucking talking to you. And he was crazy. And I just kept walking. And there's some dude sitting there smoking. And I'm just walking along. And this is over there like,
oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm walking along. And this dude's sitting there smoking. He's like, you going home? I'm like, oh, shit, what is this? And I just said, what's that? And he goes, if you're going home, you better get there quick. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
shit. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm like, gotcha. Well, yes. Okay.
That's the weird thing about Austin is that we've started the the whole terrible gentrification process of putting all of these trendy like bars and new condos and stuff up right in the middle of neighborhoods that are still a little bit, Wild West over there. And so you've got this really weird mix of like hipsters and students and people without very much money. I mean, hell, you live in one of those neighborhoods, Jason, where
barrio, man.
Yeah. I mean, like you would go, when I was looking for a house, you'd see these places where you'd see these really super nice little houses that had like 12-foot high metal fences with razor wire on top of them around the entire house because next door there was a fucking 87 Cavalier on the front lawn and like 6 dogs fighting over a human femur,
Yeah, it's like the wasteland.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a good place to build a house.
Yeah, it's like you bought your property right next to Thunderdome or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But how bad is the crime in Austin? Is it
Not that bad.
No,
They're not like packing guns like in Compton or something.
well, some places.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I've always thought about it, have you ever been like mugged or anything?
No.
Or anything? Neither have I.
No.
I mean, generally speaking, what my dad always used to say is that you have to work real hard in Austin to get in trouble. Like if you go over to the east side and start like
You're like John McClane.
Yeah, exactly.
Die Hard 3,
Right.
the sandwich board.
Right. You'll probably manage to get yourself fucking stabbed, but by and large, if you're not doing something stupid and you're minding your own business, you're fine. Like my favorite barbecue place in town used to be Sam's over on the east side.
Oh, yeah, before they were selling like expired meat or whatever.
Right. Yes. This was like 10 years ago.
Like,
yeah.
God, it's good when it's a little tangy. They color it really weird, but it's delicious.
But there was a time when the place that we went to last night over on East 6. East 6 didn't used to be a place where there were bars or anything over there.
Well, there were bars, but not any bars you would ever consider going to.
Yeah.
But you said that it's like the cool part of 6th Street, like East 6th Street.
Yeah. It's bars are just popping up left and right, but it's it's a bunch of hipster bars and stuff like that, and dive bars like Rio Rita, like we were at last night.
Yeah. But what's West 6th Street like? Is that the more popular kind of the rave clubs?
Yeah. So like fucking like frat boys.
West 6th Street is a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Well, it used to be you could go down there. I mean,
Yeah.
there was Casino El Camino and like Egos and the Jackalope when they first opened up. But then you got places like the Moose Knuckle and Treasure Island and these terrible frat bars. It mostly happened like the same woman that used to be my roommate, she would not go down to 6th Street if there was a football game because when the frat boys got riled up, they would all go down to 6th Street and you couldn't get anything done because they were all just punching each other in the face and clogging up the bars.
Still, if you're at 6th Street at 2 a.m. when the bars let out, it's like somebody rang the bell. Like ding, and everybody just pours out of the bars. Like, fine, I'm gonna find the first motherfucker, and then I'm gonna punch him right in the face. And that's
it's like Fight Club.
Yeah, so it's like, oh shit, bars are out. We gotta go. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that why Brian Salisbury always leaves at like 1:30 or whatever?
Probably.
He never closes the place down. I'm just like,
well, he's got to go find somebody to fight. It's like I gotta go to 6th Street and kick somebody's ass.
Well, I also heard like 2 years ago that on Halloween they were actually going to put up cameras on 6th Street. So that the police could watch people walking down the street and radio like drunk dude over here or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I read that article, they said, oh, but we're going to take them down after Halloween. I go, you're going to install cameras on 6th Street for one day?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Why don't they have CCTV cameras already, like around that area?
Why don't they?
Yeah.
Because it's America.
Yeah. It's not London, the most heavily monitored city in the world.
Yeah.
It can help, though.
If you want to poop behind a dumpster with a prostitute, you don't want somebody to find you and the cops to roll up.
Which, before you leave, remind me, we'll go do that.
Are you up for that?
It's one of our big things.
Okay.
Dumpster pooping. We got to find a whore. And we're going to eat a lot of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Oh, you go over to like
some
East
Wiener
Runberg?
Schnitzel.
Dude, that Taco Bell on East Runberg.
That's a good place to shit behind.
I got propositioned by a prostitute at that Taco Bell.
Oh, to go poop?
No, yes, exactly. She asked if I wanted to have fun. I assumed that's what she meant, was pooping in the dumpster.
Well, yeah.
That's what you do on Friday night.
Yeah.
I picked her up at I was with my friends at the bowling alley down the street at the
bowling alley
Showplace
whores are the
Lanes.
best.
And then we were leaving, and this woman like kind of rolls up and it's just like, "Hey, can I get a ride down the street to that Taco Bell?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, I guess." That's kind of a weird thing to walk up and ask a stranger, "Hey, can you go one exit that way and like take me to Taco Bell?" And like, okay. So we go down there, and then we get there, and she's like, "So you guys want to party?" And it was like,
A Taco Bell?
Yeah, I want the cheesy, beefy nacho burrito. Give me 2 of them. I'm feeling crazy.
"No, ma'am, I don't believe that we would like to party. Thank you very much. Good night." Oh man. Well, you know what? Enough of that. We're going to get into a little bit of news here. We got a little bit of news. We got a few emails to go over. But since we've got, RTX coming up next week, we might keep this one a little bit more. We went for an hour and a half last week. We'll go for an hour today.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
So this first story that I have is that Wall Street Journal says that Google is developing an Android console. So,
Okay. Huh.
kind of like the Ouya, but Google is making it. Now, I don't know, like, I have, like, the world's biggest tech boner for Google because they fixed email and they fixed search engines and they're bringing Google Fiber to my town. So I'm kind of in the they can do no wrong camp. But so far, all of these Android consoles that we've seen have pretty much just been complete dog shit.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't got my hands on an Ouya yet, but I haven't exactly heard a million great stories about how badass the Ouya is.
Yeah, it's like, I want an Ouya. It's basically an Android phone, but you can't make phone calls on it.
That's right.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Or if you just you open up that little cube and there's just like an HTC One shoved in there.
Yes.
I don't know, Nick. What do you think? You think Google can make a good console?
Well, I'd like to, see it, but I don't know. It's not looking good exactly with all the other Android that we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's like you can buy the console, but if you don't have the developers making games for it, then what does it matter?
Yeah.
Well, I guess at this point it's just a question of like eventually, with enough saturation of the Android OS in the market between phones and these consoles and that sort of thing, you might end up in a position where you actually do get developers, where there's enough saturation that it would bring a AAA developer in to make a really good title because you have a big enough market in place that you could actually do something.
When
with
are they
it.
considering releasing this?
When?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's just like a in development
2016 or something.
Blah, 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 blah. I have no idea.
now. Do you think
It doesn't
can
say.
compete at all with any of the current?
I think Google, if it doesn't, Google will probably buy Sony and Microsoft.
just
and just
combine
be
it
like,
together.
All right, there you go.
Well, there's also been the rumors for a long time that there's or not even rumors, but there's a Steam box coming as well.
Yeah.
So it's like we're starting to get into this weird, I think, area where there's enough x86
Look at him. He's going to start touching his nipples in just any minute now.
consoles that.
Oh, Steam.
I love Steam.
I know you
I
do.
love Steam as well, but
Why don't you love Steam?
Steam's fine. I have no problems with Steam, but you're weird.
Touch your
about
nipples. If you like Steam, touch your nipples
it.
already.
That's the bumper sticker, right?
That's
you like
right.
Steam, touch your nipples. I'll give you a horny for Steam.
I don't understand why you're not touching your nipples right now. I don't understand.
In the end user license agreement.
I'm sorry, Nick. What were you saying?
I can't remember. Jason distracted me.
Sorry.
So this is the other one. Is oh god. That there've been all these rumors that Apple is making a console. Is thinking about making a console as
I
well.
was thinking that's made sense. Like,
It just-
they should have
it's-
done it ages ago.
It seems like everybody's making a console these days, which kind of sucks because either they're all going to
Buy
be
them all.
Well, yeah, that. But I mean, we were kind of getting to a place, especially with the PS4 and the Xbox One, where everything was running on PC hardware.
Yeah.
So like, fuck it, we're all basically programming the same game for the same thing: PC, PlayStation, Xbox One. And then if we have some kind of like crapped up iOS thing and a bunch of Android nonsense out there, then it's like, oh god damn it,
Yeah.
back
I
into
guess we'll do
console
it
wars
too,
again.
yeah.
Well, developers are going to be like, so it's basically the same architecture as a Mac.
Yeah.
And we haven't programmed for that in the past. Why are we going to do it now? We're not.
Maybe you could make an Apple console that just plays all the Steam games that have been ported over to iOS.
Yeah, but aren't you interested to see what they could do? Because like Apple's done some amazing stuff over the years. So.
Curious.
But Apple, but see, I mean, as much as people love Apple, and I know there are a lot of people, I personally don't care for them, but there's a lot of people who really like them. They've never been on the forefront of games.
Ever.
Like they've really never like put themselves in a good position to be competitive to gamers.
Yeah, that's
specifically.
the only reason why I have a PC at home is just to play games. I mean, you can't do that as much on the.
That and the fact that you paid twice as much for Mac hardware for no
years
good reason.
ago, I remember reading an article in like PC Gamer saying if Microsoft decides to get into the games market outside of their simulators, it would change the landscape and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I guess maybe it would. And here we are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it's something I think I would like. I mean, I'm torn between how shitty some of the Android game stuff. I mean, I don't know. I've all the games I've ever wanted to play on my phone have been iOS games, like Neverwinter, and then it was Space Team and stuff like that. I've never been chomping at the bit for a specific Android release.
Neverwinter on iOS?
It was on the iPad, right? Or Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate. Special
okay.
edition,
I was like, whoa! I didn't know about this.
All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I know that John sitting over at Keith Bombast has offered several times to let us borrow his Ouya, so maybe we should get that and play it before we declare Android games are total shit.
No, I'm comfortable in declaring their total shit without
You just want
any
to do that?
sort of knowledge.
Is there anything else that you would like to declare as total shit while you're at it?
Nick?
What?
He's right there,
I'm right
Jason.
here, mate.
Yeah.
You can see me.
I know. And that means that I'm not talking out of my ass and that this is an actual valid fact. It is fact.
Are you going to take that
I
from
have
Nick?
assessed the situation and declared Nick to be shit.
He's
You know,
sitting
I'm
right
fine.
there. That microphone stand would work
I
perfectly
tell you
well
what,
as a
though,
weapon.
at the moment the microphone is off, he's like, "I'm sorry, by the way, I didn't really mean it."
That's a lie.
All right. Well, the next thing we've actually seen this. I think it's just kind of funny that apparently some of the phone numbers, some of the hotline phone numbers in The Last of Us have turned out to be sex lines.
I heard about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they're looking to strip them out. Have you not heard this? They pulled a Roger Rabbit. You know, remember that on the NES?
Oh.
I thought like video games.
Does a
movies
clicker answer? Like, oh yeah, tell me what you're rank.
Like I thought they had a rule in video games and movies that they always use
Like
the
a
same
555.
number. Yeah,
555-1212.
Yeah. Like a number that doesn't really exist. So why would they give out real ones unless there's some programmer fucking around just like
Yeah. Well, I mean that. Yeah. Every now and then, if you dial it, and people are going to dial them, you know. But a lot of times you'll find that it leads to some sort of little secret, like some sort of like something like an ARG or something like that, you know, where it's like the Firefly hotline or whatever for Last of Us, you know. But why would they?
Firefly hotline. What?
Yeah,
Civilization's collapsed. What would even be on the other end of that? It's
Right,
like,
right.
Thank you for calling the Firefly hotline. If you still
Yeah.
have phone service, please find us and rescue us already.
Right. But, you know, it'll be something that relates to the game. You know, it'll be just a neat little Easter egg. But with this, they just put numbers in there, and
It's probably some artist just was like bang, 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 bang on the
Yeah.
numpad, and then put it out.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I didn't even notice those things because I was trying not to be eaten by fucking clickers.
Yeah, you were like, "Ooh, a phone number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it."
hey, could you guys hang on? I gotta write. Does anyone have a pen?
Uses a public phone in the tube station.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. Do you guys? I mean, do you think that this is the sort of thing that's like? I mean, I don't know what your perspective is on it, but some of the articles that I read about this made it seem like scandalous, and I'm just like, oh, who fucking cares?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's an M-rated game about zombies eating your fucking face in the wasteland. Who cares if there's a sex line number in there? You can probably use a sex line anyway.
Right. It's, you know, you see sex line numbers all the time. It's not like it makes you call it or anything.
Right.
I bet the sex line operator's getting pretty sick of Last of Us fans
Calling for hints?
Like, so what are you doing right now?
Joel and Ellie at the end of Last of Us?
She's like, so what are you doing right now? Well, I'm on this bit in The Last of Us. I'm getting pretty much stuck like, oh, fuck's sake.
God, that's what we should do. We should totally. Oh my God, I just had a brainstorm for a business ideas. We should just put a telephone. I should go buy a burner, and we should just put a telephone number on the website that, like, every Saturday when I'm hungover between like 1 and 4, you can call for game hints. And it'll just be until the minutes on my burner run out. It'll be like, you've reached the range select game hints. What?
Here's the thing, though.
I'm playing Kirby. Why are you playing Kirby? Stop playing Kirby.
The problem with that, no one will call us for hints.
Well, sure.
Why would they?
Well, it's just going to be the phone that I answer when I'm hungover. And
The hangover phone?
I'll keep it in the bathroom, so that while I'm pooping, I can talk to people on the phone.
Actually, it's more like that they'll phone you to give you hints because they get so frustrated when you're doing Let's Plays and not doing it properly.
Yeah, and we got one more news story to go over here, and that is the fact that, unsurprisingly, the Australian Classification Board has refused to classify Saints Row 4, which means that it would not get a release there. And
they think it's that violent?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but Australia had this, I believe there was one government official who was like kind of a moral police man in Australia who they used to not have a rating that would essentially apply to M or AO rated games. And the thing is, if you didn't rate the game, then you couldn't release it there. And they just recently got an R18 plus rating that would cover this sort of thing. But this is the quote from their ratings board. In the board's opinion, Saints Row 4 includes interactive visual depictions of implied sexual violence which are not justified by context. In addition, the game includes elements of illicit or prescribed drug use related to incentives or rewards. Such depictions are prohibited by the computer games guidelines. I don't know about you guys.
Wait.
Yeah, that just makes me super excited. I'm like, holy shit.
An entire continent of criminals and thieves and fugitives.
Didn't they release the other Saint Row games in Australia?
I don't believe so. And most of the time, if a game is an M-rated game and they want to release it there, they have to modify it, which is what Volition is doing for Saints Row 4. So they're trying to clean some of it up, I
You
guess.
think... I don't know. I have this idea of, Australians as this hardy, tough,
Right.
desert dwelling,
Crocodile Dundee.
hard drinking maniacs.
Right.
Well, they probably don't want the people to rise up.
Yeah, that will. Yeah, Saints Row might trigger a revolution of all the thugs and lunatics.
But it's just going to be Mad Max. Like Saints Row 4 is released next week. It's just Mad Max.
Yeah, they thought it was like gas shortage and nuclear war. No, Saints Row 4.
Well, they could, because Australia used to be a giant prison, so they don't want people to gain any ideas about
Exactly. Come on, Australia, grow a pair. You're better than this.
So I don't know. I mean, at least they have an 18 plus rating now, and at least the game may be released in some context. But I mean, they can take out all the implied sexual violence and drug use,
Which is why you play Saints Row.
Come on, man. I mean, we're talking about a series that in the second part had a mission where you wandered around with a septic tank with a poop gun on the top of it, spraying houses down with feces. I'm going
to be a Saints Row bootlegger.
Oh yeah?
Yep,
You're
that's my calling.
Just anything you can do to be Smokey and the Bandit.
Anything at all. I'm going to get the mustache.
That's right.
In a truck, and instead of full of Coors, it's going to be full of Saints Row 4.
Screw all this video game stuff. You're just going to be a bootlegger in the year 2013.
Yes, video game bootlegger. Maybe we can just get a bunch of dune buggies and start hijacking like the trucks that have the games in them on the way to GameStop,
and then sell them and then fly to Australia and sell them there before they're released on the streets.
God, we've got a business plan, everything.
It just writes itself. We just need investors now.
We need to get Vin Diesel and Paul Walker to help us steal truckloads of Saints Row.
I need more NOS, bro.
Yeah.
Can you put NOS on an 18-wheeler? Is that even a thing?
You can put NOS on anything with wheels.
Can you pimp out an 18-wheeler? Can you put like spinners and ground effects and stuff on it?
Oh my God! Now I have another goal.
In Saints Row 4, you might just be able to.
I know you can put ground effects on a dump truck in Saints Row 3.
I want the 18-wheeler from Maximum Overdrive with the Green Goblin on the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aren't you afraid that's going to go nuts and try to kill you?
No, because I'm going to be in it.
Oh, you're just never getting out. Never get out of the truck.
Okay, so I haven't thought this through completely, but I think I've got something here.
Which would you prefer, Jason, the machine apocalypse or the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, zombie apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Because I like machines.
Uh-huh.
And
well, not like Judgment Day, but like Maximum Overdrive. Like
Maximum Overdrive?
Right, like the machines just get all uppity and shit.
Texas, man.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. Gotta go somewhere with, a pedestrian-friendly city.
Do you think that you could like whip an 18-wheeler into shape and like make it your bitch? Like it's all uppity and shit?
Yeah.
Get out there with a cattle prod.
Hit it on the grill with a newspaper?
Yeah,
a rolled up newspaper? No.
Spray bottle?
Bad truck.
Spray the grill?
Yes. No, zombies, because I'm ready for that.
Everybody's ready for this.
Have you got your guns already?
No, not everybody's ready. No, I don't have guns. I got a machete.
You got a machete.
Yeah.
Because current zombie lore has gotten into this whole thing of like, well, guns. They've. I feel like they've started to introduce new like cheat codes with zombies. And it's like it used to be you just shoot all the zombies in the head. It's like, well, now they can hear your gunshots and they come in droves, like the Walking Dead rules.
Yeah.
I wonder how many crossbows were sold
rules.
after The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say that in the last few zombie games we've played, the bow and arrow has been the weapon of choice. Like in The Last of Us, damn, because not only is it silent and you can kill zombies in one shot, but you can get your arrow back when you're done. Which is pretty cool.
Not all the time. Sometimes the arrow breaks, but you do have to figure out how to use it, because the first couple of times you do mess up with it, I think. It's not as good, I feel, as the way it was in Tomb Raider. Like, the Tomb Raider bow and arrow system was, like, fucking spot on every single time.
Well, in Tomb Raider, I mean, the bow and arrow was almost a melee weapon. She would just pull one of those arrows out and jam it in somebody's eyeball.
Choke somebody to death.
Right.
Yeah. But no, back on the machine apocalypse, machines rising up.
Yeah.
I do not want to be sitting in front of my PS3 and then suddenly it ejects the game, whatever game is in there, and it just flies right into my brain or like severs my head or some shit like that. I don't want that to happen. That would be a shitty way to die.
This is the problem with all the cars and knives, and I mean, you would be afraid of your phone like electrocuting you or something. First, it's the
there's that.
It's the PlayStation. Well, what about the Xbox? The Xbox has a tray, so it couldn't eject it fast enough, right? So you just switch over to Xbox. You just play Xbox 360 games.
Okay. Yeah, but the Kinect could be a total dickhead and take pictures of you when you're not expecting it put online.
Oh, yeah, the Kinect in the Machine Apocalypse is the biggest dick of all the machines.
It's going to be fucking Brother Eye or OMAC or some shit.
Okay, I've been thinking about this. Are we honestly that paranoid about Microsoft that we think that with the Kinect always being turned on that they're going to be like watching you do it on the couch?
Oh, no, that would never happen. What, are you fucking naive?
Yes.
Prism, man.
Okay, are you going Alex Jones on
Prism, man.
Black helicopters, chemtrails, 9/11.
Do you read the news?
No.
It's happening right now. Microsoft is colluding with the NSA to collect information. And yes, they probably already have been filming people in their homes. MIT developed something where cell phones would just take random pictures and you wouldn't know it, and they could use those pictures while you carried your cell phone around, and they would map the inside of your fucking house. And know what you were doing.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they use the Kinect?
But why would, like, I guess the question that I've always had is, why would the NSA give a shit what you're doing, Jason Murphy? You're walking around, like, you know, playing video games and drinking and playing with your dogs and stuff?
I can't answer that.
Oh, okay.
Not allowed to answer that, but I was a little, there was a little bit of apprehension when we went out to E3 that I was allowed to fly. I was like, okay. Okay.
You're afraid they were just going to come out with the shock rods and like...
I was concerned.
Yeah.
I was concerned.
They're just going to be like, oh, it's that guy.
I thought I might be on a no-fly list. It's very possible.
I don't know, Nick, you live in a country that has a lot more surveillance than we have over here. Does it creep you out? All the CCTV cameras everywhere? I mean, do you worry about somebody watching you? I don't know. What do you do in the street in Britain? Eat a crumpet or something? Like...
That's what all Brits do, is just eat crumpets and drink tea.
Drink tea, obviously.
No, not at all, because, like, you assume that you're important enough for people to be watching in the first place.
Right.
It's a bunch of fat fucks sitting at in a room with like 1 million screens, and they can't watch them all at the same time. And when something does happen, like a terrorist attack, it takes them like 3 days just to go all the way back just to find out what happened. So they're not going to spot you doing something unless it's worthwhile.
See, there's a thing called they call them ratters. Remote access technology, where they hack into people's cameras on their laptops and take pictures, whatever, and it's like, no, I don't want that. And I bet they've already figured out how to do it on the Kinect.
I don't know, man. It's a closed system. Okay, well, who can say? Who can say? I only found out about the whole router thing just recently, because what they also will use like remote like spyware and stuff to try to get you to do stuff. And then you watch you through the camera to see if they can get you to do stuff on the actual screen while they're doing it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Nick about the whole, I'm so boring day to day as a human being that like the NSA could have a camera set up in my room and they would watch me edit video for 12 hours a day and then take a break to eat some Taco Bell and play 8 hours of The Last of Us and stay up way too late and then go to bed. I mean, I would say there's maybe 15 minutes of my day that might be considered illicit. And I don't think anybody's really interested in watching that.
When you're dumpster pooping.
That's right. Yeah, the dumpster poop part.
Yeah. I want one of those ratters to come after me, and they'll try to get me to do something. I'm like, oh, you want to play?
You gonna do your Wild Bill impression for him?
Would you fuck me? I'm gonna do the lumberjack.
You're gonna reverse the technology to make it so they have to watch your camera, so they can't turn your camera off.
Exactly. It's like, I got your ass now.
And then go find that homeless dude from L.A. and just put him in front of your camera for like 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
We could get Alex Jones to interview that crazy homeless guy from L.A. for 12 hours.
Okay, now you say that crazy homeless guy from L.A. You're gonna have to be way more specific.
The cigarette master guy.
Oh, the one that kept calling you massa?
That was so weird, man. It's just,
Yeah.
I will never get over that.
You just give off that white slaver oppression
Really?
vibe. Yeah.
Is it the haircut? Is it the glasses? What is it?
I think it's the
Beard.
the swastika tattoo.
I don't have a swastika tattoo. It's My Little Pony, man. I already told you.
I have a variation on the swastika but it is for My Little Pony. It's for my new movement of the incarceration of bronies.
Oh, the camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a symbol.
Bronies, juggalos, hipsters.
Artists unite. We
Yeah.
need some sort of symbol about brony genocide.
I don't know what your problem is with those guys, man.
Fucking weirdos, man. Bunch of fucking bronies and juggalos.
You know what? We have not had a single brony uprising on Rage Select yet. We have not. So, and maybe I should just give you like your own podcast for 30 minutes. We can just describe how they're all degenerate fucks that are a waste of life or whatever. And then
I'm going to start the rebellion.
Yeah, well, you can kickstart the revolution just right here.
Let's do it. Yes. Unite!
Well, with that,
Streets will run red.
yeah, that is the end of the news that I have for this week. There really wasn't a whole terrible amount of stuff. But we do have a few emails, one of which I'm actually really looking forward to reading because this guy has emailed us like 6 times with the exact same question. It's a fucking weird question.
Oh, God.
We can save that one for last, though. We're going to
Okay,
start
okay.
with a fairly normal question.
Is my email up on the site?
Which one?
The Rage Select email?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Did you activate it? Did you
No.
turn it on?
No.
I haven't turned it on yet.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I was just curious. I was like, yeah.
Do you need it for something?
No.
Okay.
No. I was just imagining emails piling up in there, and I'm like, oh.
I mean, we'll have to turn those on at a certain point. In
Yeah, I
fact, you
guess
know
we
what? I'm just going to say right now, there's a Jeff at Rage Select and a Jason at RageSelect.com.
Fuck you.
So turn your email on, Jason.
Fuck you.
It's funny, between the number of different ways, between Twitter, Facebook, I mean, you guys keep sending questions to the admin account on the website. I don't read questions out of the admin account. So if you do have a question for the show, you can send it to rageselect@gmail.com right now. We'll get something better, more professional later on. So, but our first email here,
Send them to Jeff at RageSelect.com. Don't send them to me.
we'll do it at
I'm not going to read
like
it.
mail at rageselect.com or something like that.
Not going to read it.
All right, this one is from Edward. Hey guys, first I just wanted to say that the website is great and keep the kick-ass videos coming. Ooh. I know that Jeff is a fan of Mirror's Edge, as am I, one of my favorite games of all time. For me, the highlight of E3 was the announcement of Mirror's Edge 2. What definite changes would you like to see in the new game? What things would you like to stay the same and be improved upon? Thanks for reading my email. And then he says, invert the y-axis, convert to the invert. Apparently there's a movement of people who invert their y-axes who are tired of being oppressed by you stupid non-inverting y-axis people.
Cross-eyed sons of bitches.
So, I don't know. Are either one of you guys even a fan of Mirror's Edge?
Oh,
Did you,
hell yeah.
You play it all the
I
way
love that
through?
game.
I mean, I've played very little of it. I've always wanted to play it. It seemed really interesting to me, but I never have tried it out.
Okay. Nick, what would you like to see changed in Mirror's Edge 2?
I would like to see a really kick-ass soundtrack. I mean, talking about like Crystal Method, like all the kind of old school 90s electronica, or maybe not so much the dubstep of today. That's what I would like to see.
Like more Chemical Brothers.
Yeah,
and
that kind
stuff
of thing.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to get your blood pumping.
Is it ever
Owl City.
depressing to you? Are we bringing up Owl City again?
Yep.
I think Owl City is like our whipping boy here.
I think
on this.
so.
Is it ever depressing to you, Nick? I was thinking about this the other day that like those bands that you just listed off, like Crystal Method and Chemical Brothers and stuff like
They
that.
don't really exist anymore.
Well, they're rapidly becoming like oldies. Like in another 6 or 7 years, you might actually hear those on the classic rock station or whatever.
don't bring that up. They're still new and
You're gonna die, Nick. You're getting older.
Feeling
You're
my
slowing
age.
down.
I was, back when I was in high school, and I was, grunge,
Right.
and that was the thing. And then there were, the
Alternative
older guys who
rock.
were like Pink Floyd, man, the old dude. I was like, okay, old guy, Pink Floyd, whatever, shut
Right.
up. Yesterday, while I was working, I was listening to a Pearl Jam concert from Lollapalooza 2013 in Sao Paulo. And I was like, oh, man, yeah, this is great. This is good stuff. Okay. And then I was like, shit, I'm that guy. I'm the guy.
You've become that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I realized it not too long ago when I was listening to some Kesha or something, or at a place or whatever, and I was just like,
it was playing.
It was playing somewhere else.
Put it on the radio or something.
Well, I only listen to Kesha when I'm in the dumpster. So
when you're dumpster pooping
out in public. But I realized that it was like, and I was listening to it, and I was like, God, this is such awful crap, man. When I was a kid, my music was fuck. Fuck. I can need a rocking chair and a shotgun. I just sit out there and wave my fist at the kids in the neighborhood. Like, oh, you kids.
So Mirror's Edge 2.
Mirror's Edge 2, yeah. We'll go off topic. The one thing that I want out of Mirror's Edge 2 more than anything else is some goddamn decent cutscenes, because the cutscenes in Mirror's Edge 1
I agree with you.
were like, they were not as good as the Esurance commercials when it came to animation, and they were pretty much in the exact same style.
I want web shooters.
Web shooters?
Yes.
You just want a Spider-Man game.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Let's do that.
So just turn Faith into the new Spider-Man.
Cool.
Spider-Woman? Is there Spider-Woman? Spider-Lady?
Yes, there's
Spider-Girl?
a couple of Spider-Women and Spider-Girls.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, all right. But that, and I think I would also like to see some kind of upgrade mechanic to give you better abilities, better parkour.
There he goes.
Yeah, I mean,
over time.
I would like it like you're constantly moving, like you should rarely ever stop.
Yeah.
Like, because there'll be a couple of times where I would fuck up somehow, or the game would do something to, and I just wanted to keep on going and blast my music and just enjoy all the colors and stuff like that, because it is a really cool, colorful game.
I think I'd also really like to see like something that I've thought about for a long time on a game like Mirror's Edge, have like a replay function, like to hook together all of the successful things you've done and then like cut it together with some dynamic camera angles and let you just watch you play it, because it would look really impressive with all the parkour and jumping and never stopping and that sort of thing. It'd be a really cool thing. You could also submit that online, maybe with some of the sharing stuff if it's on the new consoles. But I don't know. I mean, I always thought, Mirror's Edge was just an interesting game that never really got its due, but I don't think it's going to sell very well. I think it's one of those games where it's going to be like Mirror's Edge 1.
It's kind of a cult classic in itself.
Right. Yeah. The problem with a cult classic is the video game industry wants to make money, and cult classics don't ever make any money. Why is there not Beyond Good and Evil 2 yet? Come on, we've only been waiting for 10 years for that game.
I remember we actually had a question once about what games would you like to be made a sequel to, and Mirror's Edge, I think, was my answer. I really had no idea that they were even thinking of doing that at all.
Yeah. It was actually one of those very poorly kept secrets at E3. I mean, I think they filed for a trademark, which is always the kind of like, you have to do that, but we can all totally see when you do that type of thing. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm interested in Mirror's Edge 2. We'll see what happens when it comes out.
Yeah, I'd like to play it.
All right, here we've got, this is a question from, oh, lordy, Jamilia? Okay, I'm just going to go with that because I'm sure I'm butchering it. Hey, Jason, Jeff, I've listened to you guys since Spill, but this is my first time sending in a question, so here it is. Why aren't there more real-time strategy games for the console? I loved XCOM, but the Civilization and Tropico games were boring as shit and had no free-play mode. I think Total War series would make a good port to the console. What do you guys think?
I don't think so.
No, you got to have a mouse.
Yeah.
You think so?
You need a mouse and a keyboard. I mean, like, I love real-time strategy games, but I like to keep it on my PC and then, do my Last of Us kind of gameplay on the console.
Yeah.
I don't think it works. Yeah.
Keep it close to your mouth.
All right, I will. Oh, God damn it.
So what you're saying is you were not a big fan of Halo Wars. Did you play Halo Wars? You don't have a 360. No.
I tried to play Command and Conquer on the console, and that didn't work at all. It felt really clumsy and awkward to me.
You got to have the hotkeys and the mouse because you got to move. RTS can be stressful because you got to just keep going, and scrolling with the analog stick that just doesn't do it.
Do you think? Well, I mean, most of these consoles nowadays have. I mean, what do you think about like, say, on the PlayStation 4, they've got that touchpad. You could use that to roll through your map or whatever instead of the analog sticks. Do you think that you could actually use that as a mouse if you were able to map some of the keyboard functionality? Because, in a real-time strategy game, you don't use much more than, how many buttons are on the PlayStation 4? 8? If you count the D-pad, you got 12. That should be enough buttons to cover everything that you need to do as far as hot building and stuff. And if you were able to use the touchpad to scroll around the map, do you think that would work?
Maybe. I don't know. That's I guess I could see it working, but it seems, I don't know. It seems that utilizing all of those could be really alienating to customers.
Yeah. I think with RTSs that you have to think on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very much so.
having like a console will just hold you back even for a few seconds, and that can cost you the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's more about like function rather than
But maybe the bigger question here is not so much why aren't there RTSs on the console, but do you guys agree with me here that the RTS is kind of a dying breed?
Yeah.
Like it used to be.
No. I wouldn't say that exactly.
Think so?
No, well, look at the Total War games. It's still going really, really strong, and people are obsessed with them.
They don't get a lot of coverage, though, and they don't get the numbers that they used to, though.
Well, it used to be that you would see a lot more clones, like essentially like StarCraft clones. You'd see everybody trying to chase that StarCraft or that Warcraft money to try to get more of the Command and Conquer money.
I saw one RTS at E3.
Which one?
Company Heroes 2.
I saw the new free-to-play Command and Conquer, which seemed pretty good.
Right.
Like Generals 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, StarCraft, they've got the third, the Protoss expansion, whatever, the Wendy's of Ire or whatever it's called, the Carl's Jr. of
I guess, how big are other RTSs in Korea? Or is it just StarCraft?
I don't honestly know the answer to that question. Yeah. I think it's just StarCraft, but because
I'm sure that millions of Koreans would argue with us about RTSs being dead.
Well, I mean, but let's see. There's Dawn of War. I mean, Dawn of War series has always been pretty good, but then Dawn of War 2 was less of an RTS and more of just like a strategy game. I guess, to be honest, it seems like MOBAs are taking over the RTS space.
Yeah.
Like, you don't play RTSs anymore. That MOBAs are really where the big money is these days.
I want a Warcraft 4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not tired of Warcraft by now? That whole world of it. I don't
Warcraft 2 is one of my favorite games.
What about Warcraft 3?
Warcraft 3, not so much. I don't know. The heroes didn't feel right.
Yeah. I liked Warcraft 3 until I tried playing a skirmish against the computer on easy, and it just came in and showed me what my kidneys looked like, and I was like, oh, God, fuck you, Warcraft.
Took you out behind the shed.
That's right.
I'm going to call you Susan. Slapped you around a little bit.
Did Creative Assembly have a booth at E3? Do you see anything about Rome 2, Total War?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, it was there. It was in the Sega booth. You were actually... I think that was your beat, but you never got a chance to see it.
Oh, no, I didn't go to the Sega thing. Remember?
It was in the booth, though. You went to Company Heroes 2. I thought Rome Total War 2 was over there as well.
Was it over there?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was. I didn't see it. Okay, so there were a couple of RTSs at E3.
I don't know, but then there's also the distinction to be made between the Total War series and the more like StarCraft, Command and Conquer-ish, kind of like micro instead of like the larger tactical real-time strategy games, which to me have always been kind of boring. Because you have to wait for 20 minutes for some army to make a left-hand turn. And you're just like, oh, God, this takes forever.
Like they're doing someone with a big truck trying to do like a 24-point turn.
Right.
Back up, forward,
Right.
back up, forward, back up. Trying to get it into a parking spot.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you're kind of spoiled. You want your action right now. I mean,
yes.
Whereas with strategy games, I've been thinking, it's coming. I better prepare myself as much as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to get my ass kicked.
Okay.
Isn't there a Game of Thrones RTS on the horizon?
Bet you it'll be shit, though.
It seems like I read something like that.
I thought there was some kind of tactical game that was being made by some like mobile developer or something, but
I just hope Doggy Style is on the upgrade tree.
Did you see? I'm sorry, I'm off on a little tangent here, Nick. Did you see when we played Spartacus last week, right?
Yes.
Have you gone into the comments on Spartacus on YouTube?
I think I did once.
There is somebody in there who is so pissed
Really?
that we don't watch the show.
Oh, really?
That because we would dare to play this game without being fans of the Spartacus show and having seen all the episodes. You don't know what I'm like. It's a game where gladiators stab each other.
Well,
how much backstory in the show am I really missing out on?
I didn't even know
here?
if it was related to the show or not. I didn't know if it was a licensed property.
You didn't when it was kept putting the thing up every time, and
Spartacus is public domain.
Stars Network came up at the very beginning.
I didn't remember that. I wasn't paying attention. I think I was drinking. But I would like to address his concerns though, about the ignorance that comes along with us not watching the show.
Right.
Fuck you.
Good job, Jason. Good
Thanks.
job. Jason is our PR director, by the way. He's in the new company structure. He is the director of public relations.
Yep.
So any and all complaints about the way that Rage Select operates should be
Jason at RageSelect.com.
Jason at RageSelect.com, which he does not set up and does not check and does not read.
Also, fuck you. That's my official statement. Smell the fuck you.
Smell the fuck you. Also, by the way, to Jamilia here, XCOM, Civilization, Tropico aren't really real-time strategy games. But I am hoping that because XCOM was such a success that we are going to see more turn-based strategy games like that.
XCOM, not an RTS, but turn-based strategy.
Dude, XCOM,
that's cool.
Badass.
Somebody just picked up one that I'm interested in. Speaking of turn-based strategy, it's Desperados.
Huh.
There was Desperados and Desperados 2. It was a Western squad-based thing, kind of like Commandos.
Yeah.
And somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they just bought the IP for that.
I can't wait.
Like yesterday.
We're like very close to that Shadowrun game coming out. It's a turn-based strategy game.
Yeah.
The Kickstarter one, which is one of 2 projects that have kickstarted. So we'll definitely get a chance to take a look at that. Okay, this is a little bit longer one. This is from Dylan. Hey guys, love the show. Been listening and watching since the beginning before this site too, and I believe this is my first email I've sent for a Q&A. On a few playthroughs a while back, I heard Jason mention that lots of menus or content can be intimidating or too much. However, he's also mentioned his love of Skyrim, which offers tons and tons of content. This question is for both of you. So part 1 of this question... Oh, God damn it. Come on, Dylan. It's a question. All right. Part 1 of this question is, what separates Skyrim's level of content from other games with lots of content without making you say, ugh, there's too much stuff to do? And part 2 of this question... I imagine that's what he sounds like in my head. Part 2 of this question is there a real proper way to add lots of content or things to do in a game without turning people off from it? I know quite a few people who kind of just want to stop when a game has tons of tutorials or stuff that they don't even care to do in the game forced on them during gameplay. The show always has me cracking up and entertained. Keep up the good work. Regards, Dylan. So, Jason, do you want to talk about Skyrim?
Yeah. Well, I mean, UIs in general, it's an art form, and a science. It's very... you got to know what you're doing, or you can make even the most simple interface completely impenetrable.
Too human.
Yeah. Or then you have really, really complex games with a very elegant interface. It can be done well. It's just...
Well, Skyrim was really easy going. Like it was. It divided the stuff up into sections. It gave you 1 point per level up, and it gave you points for those individual sections. It was very easy to understand.
Very intuitive.
Yeah. It wasn't like the old Fallout where you're like, what does perception do?
Lots of menus can be. It can go either way. If you do it well, it's fine. But a lot of times, it's just, I don't know. With some of those games, you have to learn the menu, and then you have to learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
Because there's no standardization.
I think that for me, a lot of it just has to do with, the menus are just a means to an end. With RPGs and with stuff like that, what I care more about is learning how that system works.
Yeah.
Like, what does putting a point into this do?
Right.
And at the game, that was one of the problems I had with the original Dragon Age, was I felt like I couldn't get a good idea of what exactly it means when you upgrade this thing, what exactly does that do for me when it comes to combat? Whereas in, Skyrim, it was very clear about, this lets you do a double-handed bash attack, type of thing, or this gives you this tangible reward. Yeah. And for RPGs, that's what I'm really looking for, is a very clear, immediate, tangible result to putting a point into whatever.
Just time out. Was she asleep during a live recording of the classiest fucking podcast on the internet?
I don't know. I'm trying not to look at the audience. I just, pretend like they're not there. Okay. Studio audience.
Fine.
But
that's sleep. This is invigorating.
Jason, that couch is the devil. I've told you about the powers of my couch before, how I'll bring a woman home and we'll sit on the couch to watch a movie. It puts anybody who sits on it to sleep.
You sit on it like he's brought a woman home before.
Ah, you son of a bitch. All right, Nick, what's your answer to the question already?
Menus.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think the Skyrim one was really good because I didn't feel overloaded with information while playing it. It helped by giving you all the information in installments, and I think that's a good balancing act. There are loads of games where that have completely turned me off because, there's too many things for me to, process.
Oh, I like too many things.
You do.
Yeah, but not all at once, though. I like to, just a little bit.
Well, but when there's too many things, then you can break the game system by putting points into places you're not supposed to put
You
them.
love doing that.
I love getting one over on the video game. I like to. Video games
smarter than you.
The video games are like it's a power fantasy simulation, and the more powerful you are, the more fun I'm having.
Yeah,
so.
and everybody thinks that I'm going to be the one who becomes some dark overlord and go crazy and conquer everything. No, the minute Jeff gets the ability to, actually, he'll probably be to fine-tuning armies and powers and stuff like that. So he's not going to be a threat.
No.
I also like it in games where if you want to watch a tutorial, you just go to the menu to watch it, not like be forced to.
Oh,
go
yeah. That's good. Like have a separate optional tutorial menu or level or something like that.
I don't know. See, personally, I like it more when they integrate the tutorial into the beginning gameplay.
If it's done well.
Yeah, it's just that some games like GTA 4 where they go way too long, where you've got like 6 hours of tutorial before they let you out into the game or whatever. It's like, God, fuck that.
I don't know. There's something to be said for just, here you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
See, my favorite is the abilities. I like the abilities more than anything else, where they start out the game and you have all the powers and you're just a rocking badass that's destroying everything. And then they either say, like, 2 days ago when you didn't have any of these powers, or they strip all the powers away so that you get an idea of how powerful you are eventually going to be in the game at the very beginning. And it also lets you go through just jump right into a game and be so powerful that you don't have to worry about being super good at a game right at the very beginning. But I don't know. Some games do that. The new Castlevania does that.
Yeah.
They start you out as, Lord Dracula, the fucking Beefy or whatever his name is. Beefy Cheesy.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Count Beefy Cheesy?
Yep.
All right. We got one more serious email and this other one that is a little bit, I don't know. Well, you guys can decide what it is. So this one is from James. Hey, fellas, I saw this article from Games Radar, and I was hoping you wouldn't mind ripping the writer a new one. This is if you go to Games Radar and you find the article titled, "I'm a little tired of being a murderer."
Oh, God.
I guess he would rather play solitaire since all games have some sort of defeat or death in them. Love the podcast, love the reviews, love you guys, no homo. So to summarize the article, this is a person who has made this argument about how, like, they are fans of the evolving stories of video games, but they find that the level of murder that you have to do in between the storyline turns them off, because you have a character that is a human being, kind of sympathetic, and in between that you are just slaughtering hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't know about you guys, but the reason I play video games is to slaughter hundreds and hundreds of people. So
You don't do that in real life.
I mean,
it's just a fantasy. I mean, I think you were right when you said before that you just consider this article to be link bait, like just by the headline to kind of draw people in just to read it.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's the problem that I have with articles like this is that this guy goes on for a couple pages talking about how you've got these adult stories that are set in between this very kind of juvenile power fantasy of shooting a bunch of dudes, and they say how this is weird and doesn't feel right and it's wrong or whatever, but they never talk about why people are fine with playing video games where you kill thousands and thousands of people. And it's because it's fun. It's one of the things that a lot of other gaming critiques tend to avoid, is that the violence inherent in video games is, for the most part, one of the reasons that we come to the medium in the first place. Is, it's not a game about conflict resolution at a mediation table, making sure that everybody...
Wait, I want to talk about my problems.
Right.
God, fucking pussy.
And
You like immediate solutions to immediate problems.
Yes, like I have a solution. There's a problem in this game, I have a solution. It's the shotgun or the giant purple dildo or something like that. It's like, what? I don't like violence in video games. It's like, that's like saying, you know what I don't like about chili dogs? That they're delicious. You know what I don't like about porn? Boners. Did I get a boner when I watch porn? I don't like that. I don't like the naked women. What's fucking wrong with you? Go take up knitting. Play fucking Peggle.
yeah?
Well, stupid, spineless sack of cunt juice.
This is exactly why I put this article on the thing. The other thing this guy manages to completely and totally avoid is that we had games like The Last of Us last year that did not involve killing a zillion people that were narrative based or whatever. Like, sometimes you want to punch somebody in the face with that sky hook and shred their jaw open
God, I
because
just want to stop recording and go do that right now.
because they're being the bunch of racist assholes who live in the sky.
I'm tired of murder. I'm tired of murder. I have sand in my mangina.
I think if anyone really
Should make
deserves to
tampons
die,
for guys.
if anyone deserves to die, it was those fuckers in Bioshock Infinite.
Well, yeah.
I'm so up for it.
Yeah.
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 Who cares about killing like 700 of them? Plus, this guy also in this article focuses a lot on The Last of Us, but then completely ignores, like he says, I got to the end of The Last, he said he didn't mind killing people in The Last of Us during the game, but he got to the end and he realized he killed like 700 people or whatever.
And that just affected his judgment of the game
Well,
completely.
but the thing is that he was like, and I was shocked to see how many people I killed.
I'm a monster.
And the thing that I have to say to this guy about that is you didn't have to do that. You could have snuck through those areas without killing anybody.
Right.
You were the one who chose to murder 700 people, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't
You animal.
The game.
You sick fuck. See, I got to the end of Last of Us and I was like, 720. I can do better. I can do better.
I'm disappointed in myself, in my dojo,
Yeah,
my country, and my people.
There was a distinct lack of murder on my part. I have failed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's we were talking before, Jason, the other day about that Dragon Cancer, and we were talking about how there are games out there that are pushing the edge of what you do in a narrative sense of immersing somebody in a game world that doesn't have to do with just straight up violence. But to ignore the fact that violence is immensely satisfying in the context of a video game of take Bioshock Infinite where they set you up and they go, look at this idyllic world. Oh, look, everybody's totally racist. Kill that guy. And you're just like, let's do this. Yeah. Like
Violence is delicious.
or, any game where, Tomb Raider, where those dudes, like, they're pretty dirty, grubby, rapey dudes, like, running at Lara Croft with the intentions of who knows what.
Yeah. Well, see, there are plenty of games that don't have any murder. And if you love dick, then there's lots of stuff for you to choose from.
Why is this guy feeling so sorry for the people you kill in those games? They're all dickheads, man. They deserve it.
I think it gets I don't know. Maybe it's just the as games get more realistic and they get more grown up, that it's too realistic maybe for him. As it's no longer like some triangle shooting a bunch of squares on a screen with like boop, 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 kind of stuff that, like in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, where you stab that guy and you see his eyes looking up at you and they slowly die and you're just like, oh, man.
Yeah, that was the last thing he saw.
So, yeah, that guy, it's clear we disagree. We disagree.
Agree to disagree.
With that guy. Yeah. All right, so we got one.
Disagree. He's wrong. We're right.
One last email here.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this guy, Kiro, has emailed me like the same question 5 times. And so, you know what? I'm tired of ignoring it, so we're going to answer it.
Let's answer it.
And I want Jason to be the first one to answer this.
Oh, here we go.
Because he's never heard this question.
Okay.
Okay, Kiro says, I'm writing a sci-fi novel in which one of the main villains is a demented cyber terrorist who implanted typing keys in his chest so that in case of an emergency, he can type anywhere at any time. He is also a gamer. So my question is this. As gamers yourselves, which qualities do you recommend that I should add in his body or personality to highlight his game/murderer side? Thank you so much for reading this and for the excellent work.
Good luck.
I don't.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
The last part. What was his question part of it?
As gamers yourselves, which qualities do you recommend should I add in his body or personality to highlight his gamer/murderer side?
Oh, God.
I don't really understand this question.
I don't either.
Like, he's got a keyboard in his chest, and he's a video gamer, and he's a cyber terrorist. So if he's a big gamer, what would he? I don't know. Would he like? He's got a tattoo of Mario on his face or something, or like, I don't understand. Like, what does this mean? He chopped off his arm and put a paper mache Zelda sword on it, or I mean, it's dude's into body modification, I guess. So,
Kiro, peyote's awesome, but stay the fuck away from email.
You don't know?
I don't know.
No suggestions.
What qualities?
What qualities do you recommend should I add in his body or personality to highlight his gamer murderer side?
Lancer dick.
Lancer dick.
Yep.
So, okay, chainsaw, Chainsaw dick is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the first thing you thought of?
No.
Weird.
I couldn't think of anything. The question baffles me. I'm like,
Once you get over that, I'm with it.
yeah.
Once you get around that lump, there. Or over that hump, yeah.
Like, as a murderous video game cyber terrorist.
Yeah.
Make him speak entirely in internet speak.
Lols.
Raffle, lol,
Yeah.
lol, yeah.
But he's got to have a voice box.
Right.
Lols.
Yeah. Make him make a lot of racist anonymous comments on internet websites.
Yeah. He only speaks by regurgitating YouTube comments.
Right. Like maybe he has instead of a face, he just has an LCD screen where he can put up various memes from Cheeseburger on his face.
And yeah.
Oh no, he could switch between the different rage faces. That could be his face instead of a screen that just switches between different rage faces.
And he opens up his stomach and shoots out Nyan Cat.
Yes.
It's a weapon.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, like a flail. Like a rainbow flail with Nyan Cat at the top of it. I don't know, Nick, what do you think? You got any suggestions here?
Well, I don't know.
Embrace it. Go with it. Let it take you. Let the
close your eyes.
Let the crazy wash over you.
What comes to mind?
Maybe he could have like a laptop screen in his stomach, like a Teletubby, and just constantly cat videos from the internet.
Okay.
Cat videos. That's good.
All right.
That's a good one.
What stereotypical people on the internet do? They have cat videos, message boards. He could take all of his orders from 4chan. He could wear it
when he dies. He has to say epic fail.
He could wear. I mean, to be honest, the easiest thing would probably be to wear a Guy Fawkes mask, like anonymous.
Oh, of course,
right. That'd be really easy.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You should also troll people, but in real life though. So he goes up to them and becomes total dickhead to them.
Yeah, and they can only defeat him with pop-ups.
Okay.
Lots of pop-up windows. Yeah. Blue screen.
He keeps asking. He keeps asking if you want to pre-order, if you want the Prima Strategy Guide.
Oh no, that's too diabolical. That's too evil.
Too terrorist.
You've gone too far.
All right, well, folks, on that happy note, we're gonna bring this podcast to an end. Nick, thank you very much for coming by. It was a pleasure to have you here.
No, thanks for
GTFO.
Yeah.
GTFO.
Just punch him with the microphone.
You say that in a second, mate. I bet you will.
GTFO.
So if you are, this is coming up, you should be hearing this on Monday, but if you're in town, if you have tickets or...
Jeff's address is...
No, not yet.
My phone's across the room.
The Freedom of Information Act doesn't cover that just yet. We are going to be at RTX on the very first day in conference room. I don't know, whatever. Look at the schedule. What am I, your mom? From 12:30 until 2.
Well, get in there as early as possible. Doors open at 12.
Right, because
get your ass over there.
Yeah, run. Like,
hurry.
Knock over.
Seriously.
Every dude in Halo armor you see, just check him to one side. Just like body check him out of the way.
We're going to have the Sparkle
Get there.
Bitches.
Yeah, Sparkle Bitches are going to be there. We're doing our thing. We're going to have a panel. We're going to have a bunch of new announcements. And if you're in town and you're not coming to RTX, you should still check the internet, because right now it's kind of a clusterfuck, but we're going to be some places drinking with people at certain times. I can't say when or where right now because I don't. Podpalooza, yeah,
that's going to be one of them.
Yeah, the Beerus, Lounge Geeks, and us are all going to be there.
Yeah, check our Facebook and Twitter pages. We'll be putting that up there a lot.
Yep. And Nick, do you want to pimp out your new project? Do you want to take a pimp moment?
Well, I'm just still working on it at the moment. Unfortunately, I've got like the editor taking his sweet ass time with it, but it should be
dumpsterpooping.com.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. How do you know it? Right. So he's taking his sweet ass time with that, but it should be up really soon. And if it would be okay if I can give you the link when it's ready. So
yeah, sure.
Yep,
why not?
Absolutely.
It.
Yep.
All right, great.
All right, folks. Well, we need your questions to make this show work. So for right now, send them to rageselect@gmail.com. Do not send them to the admin account. I will not read them. rageselect@gmail.com, and we'll see you next time.
See you.